All right, welcome to another episode of the Triangle Tennis Podcast. We have a very special episode today. I am here with two guests, and we are going to be talking about 8.5 Durham combo. We had quite a few players who are really interested in playing this year, and so we ended up with two teams, and we're going to be revealing who's on those teams during this podcast with a couple of the other captains. We've got Kevin Moyoung, who's going to be one of the other captains, and then my co-captain will be Spencer Lou Ellen. Did I say that right? Oh, fuck yeah, let's go.
Nailed
All right.
it.
Kevin, you go first. I think most people know you, but just a little introduction, how long you've been in the crew, things like that.
Yeah. How's it going, everyone? My name's Kevin. I've been in Durham for 5 years now. I've been actively playing for about 3 of those years. I really just got started because Michael Young, Muthu, and a few other people wanted to hit on a random Saturday morning at East End, and then it just slowly grew, and then things started happening. People were interested in playing leagues. Things were getting a little more competitive. People wanted to get better. The vibes were growing. It was amazing. And so, yeah, just happy to be.
I forgot you're one of the founders. You're one of the founding fathers of the East End Boys. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm a founding father. I was just kind of like one of the first few people to be playing on those courts. So
that's great to hear that story. Yeah, that's interesting. We talked a little bit with Michael Young about it, but that was good to get your perspective. Spencer, how about you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Tennis history. Started hitting a ball against a garage when I was in 4th grade. Somehow my parents didn't get angry at that, and they supported me instead. And then competitive USTA would be post-COVID. So COVID hit, and then I feel like that kind of killed tennis for a second, and then it kind of bloomed because of it also. So I joined the Raleigh ladder first, and then from there got introduced to USTA tournaments and teams, and the rest is history. And then like with the East End boys, I'd consider myself more of an outlier, but I think a large portion of that is just because I'm not a morning person. So I'm just never going to show up to these Saturday, Sunday things. Like everyone's like, oh yeah, I'll be there at 6:30. No, I will not be there at 6:30. I'll be there at 9:30 at the earliest. USDA matches being at 9, I'm already struggling for that. So just to the East End boys listening, I would gladly be there if I was a morning person, but that's not going to happen ever. Zach got me to one practice after begging on his knees for a month or 2. I don't know. He can verify how long it was. Now I'm here. I was happy to join the crew at that tournament in Wilmington and beat everyone and win.
Wow, you did play well,
But no, it's but it's been fun. It's pretty cool just to see how large the tennis community is in the Triangle. Big enough to have.
It was clearly there was a huge demand for this. Obviously, that's why we started it. Huge demand.
Yeah, huge.
Kevin, why so early? Is there any way that we could? I don't know. Why so early? That's my question.
To be honest, I mean, honestly, I haven't gone out there in like months because it's so early, and I think one of the main reasons I feel why it got earlier and earlier was because more and more people were interested in playing on Saturday, and like. You can have at most 16 people playing, and that's like 4 courts of doubles there at East End. If you're not there when the 16 people when it starts, you're waiting or you're just not playing. And people really wanted to get in on the rotation early, and people were like, "All right, how about I show up at 8?" And then someone's like, "Let me show up at 7."
Like a bidding war of some kind,
6:30. I think at least that's what it felt like for me. You know, I mean, I'm with Spencer on this. I think like 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning is respectable, is a respectable start time. But when we're getting into like 6:30 a.m. crack of dawn, I don't know. You know, I love tennis, but I love getting a few more hours of sleep.
Yeah,
I'm glad people are motivated to play on Saturday mornings. So
Yeah, it is a dedicated group to tennis. It is a group that loves tennis wholeheartedly. 100%. That's for sure.
Talking about tennis, we are here to talk about how we selected and then who we selected for 8.5 combo Durham. So, Spencer, do you want to talk a little bit about how we call it a snake draft, how it worked?
Yeah, so since me and Matt came as a pair, because he's useless
I don't know
without
about
me,
that.
and I'm useless without him, just to be clear. It is symbiotic. It is. He doesn't give himself enough credit. It is certainly symbiotic. So we come as a pair. So we did a snake draft. So starting, we actually... It really didn't start as a snake draft, but then we were like, wait, this is actually way better to do a snake draft. So then Kevin got the first pick, obviously, because we were already two people. And then got another pick so that he would then be at 3, and then we would pick 2, and then he would pick 2, and then we would pick 2. It works not only for like fairness in splitting of the teams, but also for speed, because we were doing it in the middle of a workday. So we ended up doing it less. So it was pretty fast. I just kind of didn't do my work for an hour and focused on this, and it was done lickety split. Mm-hmm. And I know, Matt, you were talking about we did the same thing for frozen assets, and that took a lot
that felt
of
like
hours,
it took at least 3 or 4 hours. I think an hour of that was me forgetting it was my turn and not responding. That was at least an hour of it. But yeah, there were 4 people in that, and then I think we were choosing 1 player at a time. I didn't realize that we were choosing 2 players at a time when we were doing this until about halfway through. That didn't occur to me. And I also, when I was texting Spencer, I didn't realize that we were marking it we have an Excel sheet. I didn't realize we were marking it there. So I was telling Spencer to pick players that had already been picked 3 rounds before. So it took me a second to figure out how we were doing it, but the way we did it was very efficient. We should definitely do it that way in the future.
I would say of our symbiotic relationship, I'm the strategic side of
yes.
it, for
Speaking of strategies, Kevin, since we just went to Spencer, Kevin, did you have any strategies going in?
My number one strategy with captaining or drafting or picking people is it's just vibes. For me, it's fun to win. It's fun to build a competitive team. But at the end of the day, I just want cool guys. And before we go into the draft picks, I just wanted to say everybody who was interested in 8.5, everyone has great vibes and everyone is awesome. And so for me, I just picked my awesome people. Maybe Matt and Spencer picked their awesome people too, but it's guys that I usually choose who I've played with before. I'm familiar with their game. People who are willing to do some dumb shit sometimes, but sometimes it pays off, and just having a good time. That's my philosophy with captaining. And also, it's another thing is picking people who are not super fussy with playing. Like all these guys, the availability sheets for the guys I picked, it's gonna be green all the time. Like they're just hungry for tennis, and that's probably everybody on this list anyway. But that's also another plus.
Yeah, picking folks with availability is, as Max Gregson has told us, availability wins championships. That's how you win. Spencer, what do you? Since you're the strategist, what do you think? Give us some thoughts.
First and foremost, exactly the same strategy is at the top of the list. It's 100% like, okay, it's even less about me. It's like who knows each other's games the best, and how can I get them on the same team as much as possible. And then separately, it's who do I like to play with? I'm going to try and draft them too, because it's 8.5. So I guess in the beginning I was focused okay, I'm going to focus on some 4.0s, and then because we already had Matt and I for the 4.5s, but then in the actual strategy side of thing, it was never I want the better team. It was more I want a balanced team as well. So nobody can see this, but I was even keeping track of I know this person likes ad side, this person likes deuce side. Well, if every single 4.5 likes ad and every single 4.0 likes deuce, you have no problems. But if you have not a good balance like that, then you can run into problems just with playing on your desired side. Not as important. It's further down the list. And then last was just making sure we had a good balance of each level. I do have a background in strategizing to win matches. But yeah, a draft like this, like that's not the goal. It's more a for fun thing to do. It builds like a competitive environment. We're like, oh, we have to beat Kevin's team now because we was drafted against them. But it's not like we're trying to win against Kevin.
Yeah, I do have some breaking news here. It's highly unlikely that either of our teams are going to win. I don't think that's breaking news. Yeah, it's not super likely, especially when you do a snake draft like this, which is totally fine. We're all going to have a really good time. And there was one moment where Spencer had to remind me. I really like playing with Nick Gilder, and I had suggested some people to draft, and Spencer had reminded me. Speaking of people who we like to play with, Spencer's like, "Hey, Nick hasn't been. I guess I'm going to reveal one of them now. Nick hasn't been drafted yet. Like, what? You should pick him." And I was like, "Oh shit, you're right. Yeah." So that's one of the things is thinking about who you like playing with. But speaking of that, we're going to do a reveal of half the players for each team, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about captaining, some other topics, and then do the other half. So I am, yes,
because Matt loves a cliffhanger.
Okay, I'm going to do this, and this is not in any particular order. So obviously Spencer and I are on our team, but we also, and I do not have everyone's last name, so this will be fun because sometimes when you're a group me, you don't have last names. So we have on our team.
I think I know every single person on our last names. On our team's last
name. It's more fun if I try to pronounce them because I'm going to get them wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I will not help you until you ask.
Brady Sowers? Is that right? Okay. Oh my God.
Hamlet.
What is Rob's last name? Rob Beer? Beer. I would have told
Robbie Beer?
Fire? No.
Beer? Fire?
I would have said Beyer. He's going to have to let us know. And he prefers Rob.
The same Rob at this point?
Yeah,
he prefers Rob, yes.
But in the group chat, he is Robbie, I think.
Well, the weird thing about all these group chats is that it depends on how you add them into GroupMe.
Oh.
It either adds them as the name in that person's phone, or like if they join in a way, they can put their own name. So there's so many guys who just have like Tennis as their last name because they never fixed it.
It's goddamn Michael Young. He just puts Kevin Tennis with a tennis ball on there for everybody's names.
That is, I think we had talked about that earlier. Yeah, Tennis is the most common last name for tennis players.
So a message to everyone in a GroupMe, go check what your name is and put your own last name so that we can learn
Let's do a few more in ours. And I don't know if I'm going to do half exactly, but we've got Billy Clark, and then we've got Lawrence Isaacs. That's his last name, right? Yeah. And then we have, Nick G. I already revealed Nick Gilder. I feel like that's pretty close to half. So let's go over to Kevin's team.
First guy that I'm revealing on the team is Jack Hu. Mm-hmm. He's a good friend of mine. He's crafty player, very solid, and just a fun dude to play with. Second pick, Josh Lundberg. Josh Lundberg, the ball recycler.
Yes. A lot of that was a hot take from Michael Young on our first episode, just really calling him out.
You know, I can see both sides. You know, I think I'm gonna defend my boy Josh a little bit here. You know, if you're just playing a few matches, or maybe even just after one match, the balls are still okay. I think they're okay.
Yeah, he takes it a little far to me. Like he'll say he'll play like multiple. He would willingly play multiple USTA matches with used balls. I would always want non-used balls for a match that counts for something.
Agreed.
But if I'm just hitting around, I'm 100% Team Josh. I'm not opening it. I'm trying to avoid opening a can unless the match matters at all costs.
Next pick for me. Ben Redmond.
3.5.
3.5 Redmond. Are you fucking kidding me? This guy, he's tearing it up in 3.5. He's tearing it up in 4.0. You know, he's a solid pick. Yeah, he's sending the dads home crying on a Saturday afternoon. Like, it's not fair. So Ben, that's my boy, and then Raj Butalia.
Yeah.
I hope I got his last name right.
That's how I would have done it.
Yep. Raj.
He's another crafty player. I would put him in the category. Yeah.
He's a crafty guy.
Ball in the left hand at all times.
3 balls. What? He holds both balls in his hand.
Yeah. He's just holding the ball.
He's a professional ball holder right there.
Does he ever drop it and then, like,
amazing.
You can't call a let, right?
No, I've never seen him drop the ball.
I've never seen him drop it.
No, never seen
this
him.
This is a tennis ball.
I'm running and I get tired and, like, I don't know, maybe my hand slips. So. Yeah, I guess that's just a me thing. All right, that's fine.
No. Let's do another one here. Deep in
I know it
Baez,
starts with a V. Yeah.
Baez. Yes, Deep in, great guy. He's been around pretty much since I got back into USTA. He's just a great guy. It's always a pleasure playing with him or against him.
You do one more, and then we forgot to talk about. We'll talk a little bit about our guys. Yeah,
we want to talk about our. Kevin nailed it by talking about him as we revealed.
I prepared. I did.
That was my fault. Yeah, we should have done that.
I gotta go. Next up, Mike Westlander, Mike the Musket Westlander.
That is.
That's a good nickname.
He's just the definition of like the Midwest well-mannered man. But on the court, he'll destroy the fuzz off the ball.
Yeah.
And then he'll say sorry. That's Mike. I love you. If you're listening to this, I love you. You're a great guy to play with. He's also an OG in East End Boys.
Who says sorry more, me or Mike Westlander? I don't know if you guys, because I say sorry a lot too.
You just say it so much. I don't play with Mike enough to know, but man, do you say it a lot.
Yeah, well, I think I've played a few matches with Mike where he's hit the net cord and then it'll just roll over, and then he'll be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and then he'll turn around to me and just like give me a little fist pump, like, "Yeah, fuck yeah." Both of you guys are very apologetic, but relentlessly apologetic.
Yeah, I do it on double faults a lot. I'm like, sorry, man, bad luck. Try again. Spencer has yelled at me from across like 3 courts, being like, "Matt, stop apologizing," and then I'll say, "Oh, sorry, Spencer."
Yes. No, it's because he's apologizing for like his opponent's mistakes. Like they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. They want you to curse at them more than they want you to apologize for them.
Only them making mistakes, because I rarely hit the ball by people, so that's the only time I really have. There isn't anything. There isn't an opportunity.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's talk about ours a little bit.
Yeah. Let's go back. Well, I want to start with Billy Clark, of course. My right-hand man. I'm the left-hand man, even though I'm actually a righty. Obviously I had to take my boy Billy since we just ran the tables at Wilmington. For doubles, he'll tell you himself, at least in the beginning of this season, he did not feel comfortable on the doubles court. Like, he was not confident in his doubles knowledge. He wasn't confident where he should be standing. And then if you watch him in that Wilmington tournament, straight up, I feel like everyone would agree he was the best player on the court in that finals match. So it's been pretty cool to see him evolve as now basically just a stud doubles player. So that's been pretty sweet.
Yeah, so
you can take Nick.
Nick into the crews a while back. So I was on a singles team. This was my first singles team before I got any crews. And Nick had just moved in, and we were playing. And I remember playing him, and I was like, "You are going to be my doubles partner." Because he's tall, he's got a big serve, and he likes to come to the net. And that's what I need, because I'm going to hang back at the baseline and just get it back. So we are usually a pretty strong pair. Together we did, because we started off at 7-5 combo, and I'm pretty sure we didn't lose. I forget if we played a lot. We've played a few tournaments and have done well. And then Nick Lau kind of stole him from me a little bit, but I'm hoping to steal. I know. I'm hoping to steal him back. I just hit with him today, actually. We played like an hour, and the wrist felt pretty good. So pretty excited about that. Okay, who's next? Rob. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Lawrence. People forget that Lawrence was a 4-5 not too long ago. I remember specifically a match where it was him and Zach in 8.5. They flipped their current levels, 4-5 and 4-0. Zach was the 4-0. And they were playing Brandon Kiesner and Josh Collins. If people don't know them, they're both very solid players. Brandon, I think, went like 16-3 or something. I don't know. The guy doesn't lose. And I can't remember the exact score, but they definitely got
Whoa.
a 6-0 set on Brandon and Josh and absolutely destroyed them overall in the score. And so Lawrence is no joke. He's also a jovial guy off the court from my experience with him. So
yeah,
I
he's
think
a smart doubles player as well. Knows a lot about the game. Rob, he won on our 5-0 team our Most Improved Player award. I had talked to him about that. I remember the first couple matches. I think he was a little nervous. We had a really rough one. They had a really rough one against the Chapel Hill Tennis Club. That was
Chapel Hill Tennis.
But after that, Rob played amazing, and they went to a tiebreaker in our last match against JB's team, and that was a really good match. And Rob had played well really throughout, so we were excited to get him on the team.
Yeah, I want to talk more about that match real quick. I know this is a draft, but
yeah,
I just want to set the stage for how beautifully dramatic this was, because I really think it's fun. So we are going into this match. We are 0-7 or 0-8 as a team, but not only that, we are 0-24 on courts, and we are 2-48 in sets going in, just to show how bad we were in 5-0. Somehow, in some way, in this match, if we just took one of the courts against JB's team, we would have made them not win the league. And we knew that going in. And obviously JB knows that going in. And so then Zach gets smashed in singles. Me and Davis Humphreys get smoked in doubles. And we're left with one court. It's Ryan Seiko and Rob.
I don't know them either,
the guys. But actual... very solid, obviously, really solid players. And Rob and Ryan are down 6-2, 5-2. And I think it might even be 15-40. Somebody can check me on that. And both Rob and Ryan have great serves, so I don't know who is serving. But they're able to come back in that game. And then they're able to win another, and another, and another. Wow. And they win the set 7-5. And the other team is absolutely stunned. Yeah. They have no idea what's happening. They continue to be stunned going into the tiebreak, and they lose the first 4 points. They're down 4-0. And I look over at JB, who's on the court. I've never seen a man more stressed in my life.
He was pacing, yeah.
He was basically lying on the ground in the corner of the course. But I've never seen somebody more stressed. And we were enjoying it to the fullest because it was an extremely fun match to watch. Just these two guys, obviously, Ryan recently bumped up to 4-5, who had also, I believe, even been a 3-5 recently, and Rob, who just started playing USTA again here. And so they're up 4-0. Unfortunately, it did not end in our favor, and I think it was like 10-7, but it was so fun to watch them fight as hard as they could. But that was our first experience at 5-0. It was a fun match to end it on. It was literally the last match of the season.
Everyone had a good time. That was a great match. Yeah, so thank you for telling that. I don't think we've told that story yet, so that was great. Last one we haven't talked about is Brady, so you can take that one, Spencer.
I would love to take this one. Brady Sowers, my high school tennis teammate. Yeah.
Wait, really?
I was a groomsman in his wedding.
Wow.
Yes, we have been together for a long time. But yeah, we were also similar to Nick and Matt. We were 7-5 combo partners, but Brady was a 3-5 and I was a 4-0. But yeah, we really aren't that compatible as doubles partners just because he loves ad side and I love ad side, but we somehow make it work just because we have such a history in tennis and on and off the court. So yes, one of my best friends.
All right. Let me ask you guys, before we reveal the second half, let me just I got one question basically for each of you, and then we'll finish up with the rest of the players and talk about them. Spencer, you've captained a lot, and you're a prolific co-captain as well. You've been co-captaining with a lot of folks, so
yes.
Maybe talk about some of the differences you've had with different captains. What are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, and make sure you include some fun stories about me as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I like the idea of co-captaining more than captaining as somebody who's done both, just because having somebody else who can pick up the reins even if it's as simple as I don't want to do this right now, then maybe the other person can do it, and it's easy as that. So if anybody listening ever wants to just co-captain a team, you can even just be like, hey, I can help with this. I'm sure somebody would be like, yeah, that'd be great. But yeah, I mean, I've captained my own teams for singles, and I've even on teams that I'm not co-captain, like Raymond and Noah. They have their team in Raleigh that I played for multiple years. Not anymore because I got bumped. But even with those, Noah knows that I love to talk strategy, and he loves to talk strategy. So we would talk strategy all the time because. So as a sidebar, captaining a team that is in contention versus captaining a team that's not in contention for winning a league is a completely different job, in my opinion. Like, if you're not in contention, you're just giving playtime to those who haven't played as much, and then it's pretty simple. It's like, oh, who's available? Who has played less? Okay, you play. Who's available? You play. It's really not that hard of a job, in my opinion. Like, it's more of a coordinator role than like anything else. But in the situations where, like, yeah, you're in some sort of contention to win a league, at least for me as a competitive person, I'm going to try to do that until it fails. So yeah, like with you so far in 4-5, that's not been the case. Like we knew that going in. We knew that going in, and so I feel like our teams it's been pretty easy. Our most difficult part is just trying to have enough guys available for matches and working around that. And we've made it work, and I feel like most every captain we've reached out to try and make something happen, like play a match early, such as that. Everybody's been very accommodating, so that's been good. But then back to like the other side of captaining, where you're trying to win a league. So like it can get pretty complicated, and where I came in and how I feel like I help is I get down to like some pretty serious detail, and I might even scope out and have a sheet where I plan every single match for an entire season.
Whoa.
Where I think, okay, we can get this person in this match, and we can get this person in this match. Because if we're being honest with ourselves, some players are better than other players. Like, that's just how it is. But we still want to get everyone to play the same amount. Like, that's still the goal. And so it's basically strategically placing people in matches. So yeah, when on JB teams, that was a main focus of mine, because it could get lost there, because Jermaine is more competitive than me. Like, so he's willing to have people not play if it means winning the league. Well, I'm not as willing. And so Noah and I would talk extremely deeply on how we could make it so that everyone could play, because obviously it's a Raymond team. Raymond's not going to want people to not get playing time. So it's a more of a balancing act. And honestly, I find it extremely satisfying and enjoyable to be able to do that work and see it come to fruition, as we did win Raleigh last year with the team we had, which was really fun. But yeah, otherwise, it's just making sure that you have the correct time, which I failed at once already this year in Durham, and then had to call every single player in the lineup and make sure that they weren't already driving to the match, and they already were.
You salvaged it though, right? Yeah.
I did. We were able to make it work, but.
Did you guys win?
Was that must have been one of our teams? No, we don't win.
That's okay.
Well, Matt, since you wanted me to talk about you, this
I
is a
just
great
did
transition.
it again.
We were not.
Oh my God, I did it again.
On the same team in Durham. We are not on the same team in Durham. Matt has done this probably half a dozen or more times now, where he's like, what's the lineup for Durham again, Spencer? And I'm like, Matt, I am not on your Durham team. So, for those who don't know Matt that well as a person, he is a doctor.
Research. I do research.
He's a doctor
methods,
of something
like data,
I don't actually know.
Kind of stuff.
Okay. So he's very smart, obviously. Sometimes brain empty, okay? Sometimes brain empty. Sometimes brain no worky, and I have to come in and help him. But in general, he's actually more on top of things than me. And he's like, "Hey Spencer, can you do this? Hey Spencer." It's just that sometimes there's not a double checking or even a single checking of things, and he just asks me questions or assumes I'm on his team.
I think I forwarded you email. I forwarded you an email that was about something about lineup changes or something.
Yeah.
And you're like, again, Matt, I'm still not on your team. Nothing's changed.
Yeah, there's like an email from the coordinator, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, by the way, Spencer, just to take note." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Matt,
Yeah.
I'm not even on your team."
I'm surprised that I think it's
That
because
happened,
we
yeah,
played
a
the
lot.
first match against you, but I'm surprised I didn't message you our lineup for like when I was playing you. And I think it's only because we played you first. If we would have played you in the middle, I probably would have texted you our lineup and been like, "Hey, what do you think?"
Yeah, you still could have done that, and I would have given you
That would have been funny.
reasonable
Yeah.
advice.
You would give me advice. Oh, that's too good. Oh, that's great. Kevin, how you feeling about your question?
Okay, this
time
might
out,
seem
time out.
like
I
a
gotta ask the
cop out, but
question, 'cause when
honestly,
I cut it. Yeah. So,
Oh.
all right, Kevin, that
Yeah,
was
just
that was,
re-ask.
that was
Okay.
fantastic, Spencer. Really appreciate it. Kevin, what was your favorite captain moment, or what has it been?
yeah, I honestly
Mhm.
I don't think it's a single moment, but I think for me when I captained my first team, my philosophy going into it was there's a lot of people that want to play more competitively, but they might be put off by teams who are trying to go to states and trying to just do everything in their best ability to win, and that includes like setting lineups strategically and things like that. And so for me, I also felt some of that pressure when I first started playing some UST matches. Like I felt like I had to win, otherwise I'd be letting my team down. So going into making my first team and then captaining all of the subsequent teams, it was more just I wanted to get a group of guys that are they want to get better, but they also just want to play with people they like to play with, have a great time, and win. But if they don't win, it's just as long as they were able to share the court time with people they enjoy playing with the teammates they enjoy, that's honestly the biggest win for me. And so I think that has just been my favorite moment, and that's why I continue to captain these teams here in the area, is just like people, I want to just give everyone a fair shot to play as many matches as they can. So, like even for my spring 4-0 team, I put together a group of guys who have played in East End Boys, and we did okay. I think we ended up like 4th in the league.
You beat Matt's team and you beat my team.
Yeah, we clapped you guys, and we were just clapping
nice
off
work.
the vibes.
I don't remember.
So,
But good work.
Yeah. Actually, now that you mention it, maybe that was my favorite moment, is just having a group of guys that going in every match just motivated to play, and just lets the results speak for themselves at the end, really. So yeah, it's been great. I've had a great time, and just being able to organize tennis has been a lot of fun.
All right, well let's get back to it. Let's reveal our second half here. So this time we will talk, Spencer. We can talk about our team. So I have to do these two together. You can't do them separate. So Jay and Jay.
Yeah, you have to.
One thing we
They're
didn't talk
together.
about, we only had, I think, one request for like somebody. Actually, they didn't even request it. We just assumed it had to happen. So Jaron and Jackson, since we were picking 2 people at a time, it wasn't a big deal. But in other snake drafts where you're picking one, you have to keep in mind and account for that. But yeah, Jaron and Jackson, I remember the first time I played them and met them, I actually was really angry because JB was I had just demolished everyone in 3-5, and then he wanted me to play more 3-5 to see how good they were, and I was very annoyed because I wanted to play 4-0, and I remember playing with them, and I knew we were going to be really good friends because I had a Python sweatshirt on, and they knew exactly what that was, and I was like, "What do you guys do?" And they're like, "We're data scientists." I'm like, "I'm a data scientist. This is really cool." And so I've been really good friends with them and gotten closer with them, and so that's been really great knowing them. So I always like to have them on my team. And Jackson, and especially when they're together, you talk about vibes. They have great vibes, great energy. It's always fun to have them on the team. So that's them. So Neil. We checked on this. Yes, Anil.
Yes.
Oh shit, I don't know his last name. What was
Chala?
Chala? Okay, Chala. Anil.
Yeah,
So
Chala?
I don't remember how he got in with the group.
So he told me it's one of, well, I guess I don't want to reveal. It's one of Kevin's future announcements got him back into competitive tennis. So somebody on Kevin's team. But and I just played a tri-level match with him as well, and he said that he happens to have a tennis court in his backyard that he built himself, and he said he built the tennis court first, then got back into tennis after a 20-year break. Yeah, 20-year break.
Yeah,
he hadn't played since college.
Yeah, I think he just started playing USTA again last fall.
Yeah, he joined as a 3.5 because he had some friends ask him to be a 3.5. He quickly realized I'm actually way better than this, so then he started playing 4.0, and then this spring he got DQ'd from 4.0, and now he's a 4.5. So a very rapid rise, but obviously for a reason. He's an absolute stud out there. His
20
his
years?
ground strokes and his serve.
That
so
man,
good.
I look older than that. He looks great. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, I know. I've said that. He could be playing 40 plus. I think he actually is on the team.
I'm 35. He has to be older than me. Man, I mean, he looks great, and he's in great shape. Super cool dude. Once I saw him go 3 with Ryan Lewis, I knew I had to have him on the team. I've got close to taking a set off of Ryan Lewis, but I've never actually taken one off him. And then we've got, let's see, Martin. I've been playing with him a few times. I've been making it out to the East End morning sessions, and he is a solid 3.5. I don't know his last name because it's not in GroupMe. Very, very nice man. He really cranks the ball. I think one thing I was talking with him after, if he took it down a notch, 10%, I think he could really make a step up and really do some damage, particularly at 4.0. He's a 3.5. He's going to be playing up at 4.0. But he would be a good combo with someone like me who keeps a lot of balls in play, or Spencer who keeps a lot of balls in play, because he can really rip it. So,
yeah, I've never met Martin, but recently in the GroupMe, all I remember him saying was, "I like playing with you, Parv," and then a smiley face. And I thought it was just so wholesome. And so Martin, when we meet, just know that was he put a smile on my face.
He's a very nice guy. He also apologizes too. I think I was playing right-handed one time with him, and I chucked my racket into the net, and he said sorry, and I was like, "No, Martin, it's my fault. It's my fault. I'm playing right-handed, and this is frustrating." So that's Martin, and then we've got. I'm gonna do Jeff. I think it just says Jeff, so I'm gonna assume Jeff. Jeff who?
Jeff Joy.
I thought it was.
I thought you said it was. Yeah, look at the.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Jeff Choi. Okay. So he is a super good dude. I think he was sick for a little while, and he just. Oh my.
Talk about looking good for your age, though.
He's at least 50, right? I think that's what I said.
I feel like Jeff's in his 60s,
but he could be mistaken. Yeah.
Jeff, you'll have to let us know. Because you're definitely.
Yeah, he could easily pass for 40. That man loves tennis so much. He loves coming out with everybody. He is a super great dude. I'm excited to play with him. It's been a long time since I played with him. Yes. Glad to see him out. And then, yes.
Yes, it's so good to have him back. He's honestly just.
He is
the most pleasant man. Anytime anybody sees him, you don't just say "Oh, hey, Jeff." Everybody smile. You have to smile once you see Jeff because he's smiling. And he's happy to be there, and so I know he's extra happy just to be able to be playing tennis again.
Glad to see him back, so that's great. And last but not least at all, another Matt James, great guy, hilarious on and off the court. He is always fun to hit with. I'm undefeated with him actually. I think we've only played one match, but we are undefeated.
Oh wow. It was a 4-5 match, I remember. Or was it an 8-5 match? Yeah.
We destroyed these guys in carry.
You destroyed those guys.
Yeah, there was a short fence
I was there.
for my serve, and they just didn't have a chance. It was really close to the doubles line, and I just was the serve was on that day, and Matt just put everything away. But yeah, Matt, great dude, excited. Oh, I won't get to play with him on this team, but I'm excited to have him on the team.
Yes, unfortunately.
And I think that rounds it out for us.
Yep. Yeah. Matt and I have a famous. We played the Cy King last year together, and we played Raymond and Ryan. Ryan Shepard. And it was 6-0, 0-6, and then I don't remember the tiebreak, but we were able to squeak it out. So it was my first ever 6-0, 0-6 match. But it was crazy because it's a 3-setter technically, but it went by so fast because you basically just played a single first set with a longer tiebreak.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that. Wow, that's a
definition of chill, Matt James. And then he'll show up in long pants and a big sweatshirt in the summer, and then show up in shorts and a t-shirt in the winter. I don't know what this guy's doing out there.
I remember him coming out last spring, and it was like 85 in his sweatshirt. I don't know. We'll have to have him on the pod to explain the logic. All right, Kevin, go for it. The floor is yours.
All right. So speaking of 3-5s earlier, the guys that I'm picking that are 3-5, they're not 3-5. Like it's ridiculous. But up next we've got Barry Gooch, the Gooch. This Barry is an amazing guy. He always comes out and just cranks the ball. He just hits lasers. Though, like, he'll just take it anywhere out from the court and he'll just blast them. No remorse, nothing. And always a pleasure to have him. Always a pleasure playing with him.
Yeah.
Not so much playing against him, but glad to have him on the team. So, and then Matt.
Yeah.
I think this is Matt Anderson.
Yes.
That's correct. Matt, I think we've played against each other in 4-5 this spring. I was playing with Justin Fowler. I forgot who you were playing with. But, very solid player. Can just, can turn it on, can hold back if he wanted to. Looking forward to seeing you play more on court and looking forward to getting to know you a little bit.
Matt, was he just an available player?
You know what's funny is I was playing with him the other day because we had someone. We didn't have someone show up for a line or on the other team, and so I was there and I was like, "Hey, I'll play a couple games with you. I'll see how I feel." And I couldn't remember, and I asked him, "Hey, Matt, how'd you get involved with the group?" And he goes, "Well, you emailed me," and I was like, "Oh, I forgot about that." So I had emailed him because we were, running a little short and carry or somewhere. I forget. It was Durham? It was Durham? Maybe because we had so many teams in the spring. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All three of us had teams in the spring, and I think we were a little short.
Mm-hmm.
But I hit with them, and he's got a real big serve, a good forehand. He is also a physical therapist. That is always use those. So we were talking after I played a little bit, and you guys can't see the video, but I've been playing with my TheraBand the whole time, the entire time.
Yeah. I've honestly been jealous because
I'll bring my extra one when we go on our trip. Yeah.
Yeah, do that.
But yeah, he was saying that's for your wrist. It's really great. Super cool dude. Yeah. So go ahead, Kevin. You can talk about the rest of the dudes.
Oh yeah, Luke Sanchez. So he is currently on my tri-level team. Luke, I don't think we've met in person yet, but I know you're killing it out there. You clutched it up with Jake Wolf last weekend in our 4-5 line, and looking forward to. I know you're a big hitter. I've heard stories. Super nice guy. So looking forward to seeing you on the court.
Yeah,
super nice guy. Unique game. His one-handed backhand, for me at least, since I just played him at Wilmington and he beat me in singles, I never knew where the ball was going. I could not tell at all. He just. I don't know what he was doing. It looks unique too. Yeah. And then it would just be by me.
And he likes to get to the net. Luke and I always joke. We played we had some nice wins at 8.5 last year in doubles. If we were like a Pokemon card and had like stats, we would actually be like 100% defense. And this would be like Spencer and I too. Yeah. And our offensive rating would be terrible, but we would have like an A+ in defense. And we were playing Berliner and Purdue at NCCU, and if you know those courts, there's like endless amounts of space to chase down lobs. So we would lob them, and then they overhead it, and we'd lob them, and we would do that. It was at night, like 7 times, and on the 7th one they'd miss. I enjoy playing with him. Yeah,
that's good. That's good to hear. All right, up next, Stuart Bible, the man. He's just very solid player. I'm pretty sure he's going to get bumped up next season. Stewart is extremely deadly, both at singles and doubles. I've played with him a handful of times. I just love his game. He just goes aggressive, on most shots, and great serve, great ground strokes, even better net game. What can I say? He's great. He's also a regular now at East End at the spray ground. He's just tearing it up, and so he's a very solid, and I'm very happy to have picked him up on my team. So, speaking of other solid picks, Mark.
Oh,
sure shot, sure. This guy, he's yet another example of a 3-5 that really should not be playing at 3-5 any longer. First of all, super nice guy. Like I said before, super nice guy. Big forehand, big crafty lefty forehand. He'll just crank it. His serve is great, and you can always count on him to show you the highlights on his Swing Vision Pro afterwards. So I always look forward to that after we play together. It's always fun. So again, another great pickup. And then this, I believe Spencer and Matt were alluding to him. So
yes, I was.
Will Hall, a great 4-5 player. I think I was playing with Will Hall last fall against Anil and his partner, and this was 8-5 combo, and that's sort of like how Will and Anil first met each other too.
Oh wow!
We had played like a 3-setter, it was crazy. We started at like 6:30, didn't end until almost 9:30, and very fun, very high level match. It was tons of fun, and it was great. That was my first time meeting both Will and Anil, and it's a shame that they're not on the same team, but we cannot have Anil and Will together.
Anyways, that's okay.
They couldn't play together anyway.
They couldn't play together anyway, and it would just be too powerful. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, we're all sister teams, so it's great.
Oh, I think you have to reveal these two together.
Yeah. I think I should. So first one, this man needs no introduction. This is a founding member of the Triangle Tennis Podcast.
I'm not going to try his last name. I've never been able to do this. I think that might be close.
Zakowski? Maybe.
Yeah.
I hope I'm close enough. Zach, he's just great. He's the... If this whole thing is the symphony orchestra, he is the conductor. He is an amazing advocate for tennis in the Triangle, for all of the events that he helps put together, and he's just a super good tennis player. I know he took a big break for a while, but then when he came back on the scene a few years ago, he just started tearing it up, and he's great. He's a great guy. But equally as great is the return of the man.
Oh,
the manual,
that was good.
The Daniel Marchek. So I hear he is coming back this fall to the Triangle. So I had to pick him up. And Daniel, he has also been here for the longest time, where he's been tearing it up on the courts. He's out there in Wilmington right now, but I hear he's getting a little bored out there playing against the retirees there. So he needs to come back for some excitement, a little more collagen out here. And so, I'm excited to have him. Again, great 4-5 player. He plays well with almost anybody, and it's always a good time.
He actually got added late because I knew a couple days before we did the podcast, but not not super early. And so I texted him after. I was like, so when you act, you playing on any teams? And he's like, well, not yet. I was like, well, you want to play on one of our teams? And I explained to him the snake draft. He was like, well, which team am I going to play? And I was like, well, we're probably going to do a draft, so I don't know. He said that's cool. So he got added actually towards the end. So I know Kevin was happy to pick him up. So I was really glad to get him on some of the teams. Cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, that's everybody. We did it. Great job, guys. Great job.
Wow.
Any final words, Kevin? I'll give you the last word.
I guess I'm just looking forward to the season. We've got a great group of guys. I think we actually, So if you're listening to this podcast, if we did not mention you or if we did not draft you and you're still interested, we do have a few more spots. So please reach out to us afterwards. Happy to have you. And I'm just looking forward to it. This is a great group of guys. I can already see some really, really good matchups when we do play against each other. And so I'll definitely be there, and let's just battle
great.
and
Spencer,
have a
you
great
got
time.
anything?
I'm not excited for this season because we've only played one match in the summer season so far. Why do we have to plan this so far in advance? This is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, my God. Why? Yeah, we're drafting for fall, and I've played one summer match. But yeah, no, it is going to be fun. 8.5, I love combo. I think it's a unique, level. I really love 7.5. I'm very sad to not be able to play 7.5 anymore. Just I think, Matt, you're probably the same way for why you like it. In general, I'm more, defensive and not the one trying to command the court, or I'm not. I guess I'm not trying to win the match. I'm trying to not lose. But in 7.5, I feel forced to play differently. So now I'm the 4.5 and 8.5, and I'm gonna have to do the same thing. At least in theory, because in theory you're supposed to be the better player. Now if I get to play with Billy, maybe it's a different story. But yeah, it's going to be fun.
Very
I'm
excited. This was a great time. And thank you for listening to the Triangle Tennis Podcast, our reveal. And I think maybe Sunday, Monday-ish, we'll start putting together chats. Don't do it right away, Kevin, because we need to make people listen. So wait till Monday.
Yeah,
wait
you're
till
right,
Monday and then do it. So make people listen.
Good idea.
And appreciate everyone's time.